What if I told you that everything you see today, every forest, every ocean, every animal, and even you, was once nothing more than dust and chaos? 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was a violent newborn. Firestorms raged, volcanoes exploded, and the sky rained meteors like fiery arrows. The oceans boiled, and no life stirred. But hidden within this chaos, something extraordinary was waiting. Tiny molecules collided, broke apart, and fused again in the great laboratory of nature. This was not magic, nor chance alone. It was the very first step toward life. In this storm of destruction, the seed of creation had been planted. The stage was set for life's impossible birth. The early Earth was a hostile wasteland. Molten lava flowed across the surface, poisonous gases filled the air, and the seas were dark with minerals. Yet these brutal conditions were perfect for change. Lightning flashed across the sky, striking oceans rich with chemicals. With every bolt, new molecular bonds formed, simple building blocks that would one day give rise to complex creatures. This was Earth's first chemistry set, endlessly mixing and experimenting. It was a world where destruction and creation walked hand in hand. The Earth was not yet a cradle, it was a furnace. But in this furnace, the recipe for life was slowly being written. Imagine an ocean filled not with fish, but with a soup of chemicals. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen danced together, pulled by heat, energy, and pressure. Slowly, they created amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Then came nucleotides, the letters of life's code. At first, they floated aimlessly, but chance and repetition brought them together, forming chains, spirals, and rings. The first fragile whispers of biology had emerged from mere chemistry. These molecules were not alive, not yet, but they carried the potential to one day breathe, move, and think. Life was assembling itself, piece by piece, atom by atom. Life's true magic began when molecules discovered one secret: replication. Among countless failures, a few chains of RNA copied themselves. This ability changed everything. A molecule that could make a copy of itself could survive, spread, and evolve. With each imperfect copy, new possibilities were born. Some worked better than others. The ocean became a battlefield of tiny invisible experiments. Out of randomness, order began to emerge. Evolution, the engine of life, had been ignited. From now on, the story would not stop. It would only grow more complex with time. But molecules alone were not enough. To survive, they needed protection. So they wrapped themselves in tiny bubbles of fat, forming protocells. These bubbles acted as miniature shields, separating inside from outside. For the first time, chemistry had boundaries, and boundaries meant identity. Inside, reactions were protected. Outside, a dangerous world raged on. Some protocells absorbed energy better. Some split into two, a primitive form of reproduction. These protocells were not yet true cells, but they were Earth's first attempt at containers of life. They were the ancestors of every living thing you know, from bacteria to blue whales, from trees to humans. About 3.5 billion years ago, the first true cells were born, single-celled organisms. They fed on simple chemicals, multiplied, and began to change their world. For hundreds of millions of years, the Earth was ruled only by microbes. They left behind tiny fossils, microscopic imprints of the earliest life forms. Some lived in colonies, forming layered rocks we still find today, called stromatolites. Though invisible to the naked eye, these cells were rewriting the planet's future. They laid the foundation of biology, creating the first ecosystems in oceans that had once been barren and dead. One group of microbes made an invention that would change everything: photosynthesis. By harnessing sunlight, they created food and released oxygen as waste. At first, oxygen was poison to many early life forms, but gradually, new organisms evolved to use it. Oxygen filled the atmosphere, turning skies blue and oceans alive. This great oxidation event was Earth's first revolution. Without it, complex life could never have existed. From this moment, the planet was no longer just surviving. It was preparing for complexity, diversity, and the rise of animals and humans yet to come. For billions of years, Earth remained a microbial world. It was not glamorous. No dinosaurs, no forests, no humans. But this time was not wasted. Cells experimented, adapted, and grew stronger. Some learned to join forces, merging into more complex cells with nuclei and specialized parts. These were the ancestors of plants, fungi, and animals. Earth was patient. It took nearly 3 billion years to move from simple chemistry to complex cells. Yet this patience built the foundation of everything we see today. Life was in no hurry. It was building slowly, but building forever. When you look at a mountain, an ocean, or even your own reflection, remember this. It all began with a spark in a hostile ocean. Life's birth was not quick, not easy, and not certain. It was a miracle of chemistry and time, forged in fire, storm, and chance. From molecules to microbes, from protocells to oxygen, the Earth transformed from a dead rock into a living planet. That tiny spark, billions of years ago, would one day lead to dinosaurs, forests, civilizations, and you. The story of life is the story of survival, and it began with a fragile, beautiful, impossible beginning.